I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. Let's press on now to page 37. We'll look at grade 4, page 37, exercise 7, continuing with the topic of keys and scales. And in exercise 7, we're asked to complete the following scales. We need to give the correct clef to make this the correct notes for the scale labelled. And then we're going to need to fill in the missing notes and make sure that we add any accidentals that we need to the notes that we've added, which means we're going to have to be fully aware of the key signature that we're required to imply and then apply wherever necessary on the notes that we write. And then we also need to be fully aware on the minor scales of any alterations that we need to add to that, depending upon whether it's the harmonic minor, the melodic minor, and whether it's ascending or descending. So there's a lot to think about, but it's okay to just take it slowly. In fact, that's the best way. More haste, less speed. If you follow through the steps, you're just guaranteed to just get it right. So let's just look at this first example that they've given us. So we need E major ascending. So of course the first thing is it must begin on E. And so to make this as a note E, it must be alto clef C, B, A, G, F, E. If that was the treble clef, that would be a D. So you can't have E major beginning on D. And then if it was the bass clef, it'd be F. So it's got to be the correct clef. And then remember, scale just means step. So we just need to make sure it's space line, space line, space line, space line to fill in all of the steps of the scale. And then we need to remember that E major has a key signature of F, C, G, D sharps. And so if it is that you're not very comfortable with the clef, just sketch out the letter names. We're going up. So if we're ascending, we can just write them out. We haven't got to go backwards. So we want F sharps, C sharps, G sharps. So it would be our responsibility to make sure to add that sharp, and then D sharps there. And for a major scale, that's simply that. If it was a minor scale, we'd then have to think about raising any particular notes that need to be raised depending on the scale we are writing. So let's look at this next one. So B major, of course, must begin on B, and so that would be treble clef. Every good boy. And then filling in the missing note head, so we're just adding the blobs as it were. Line, space. You've got to kind of get all the nuts and bolts in place first before you can start thinking about the sharps and so on. Now we know that B major has a key signature of F, C, G, D, A sharps. If you're not comfortable with the clef, depends what instrument you play, you can always write the notes, but don't forget we're going down now, so we need to sort of write the notes up bank as it were. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And so we need F sharps, C sharps, G sharps, D sharps and A sharps. This is a major key, so that's it. Once you've done the key signature, job done. Let's look at exercise 7C. And so first job, for this to be F sharp minor of any sort, it must begin on F sharp, and the only way that's so is if we add the bass clef. And now we need to put in the missing notes, line, space, just stepping down. There we go. Now F sharp minor is related to A major, which is F sharp, C sharps, G sharps. So it's just making sure you've got these key signatures ready to hand, as it were, in your brain or on a scrap of paper. And don't just keep looking, always write it out from memory so that you know you can just get to grips of it. Because if you only just keep looking at what you've written once and kept reusing it, you're not really learning it. You need to write it out every single time if that's what you're doing. So let's think. F sharps, C sharps, G sharps. Again, if you're not sure, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharps. Now then, the harmonic minor has the raised seventh. This is the eighth. We're going backwards. That's the seventh. It's already done for us in this case. And so now perhaps you can continue these remaining few. So I'm hoping that you'll press pause, have a go. And now I'm hoping that you've done so. We'll check these through together. So B flat minor of any sort must begin on B flat. For that to be the case, this must be alto clef. If that's C, one below is B. So I always just do a little line and then just sort of vague, kind of curly there. It's not an art prize, I suppose. And then B flat minor is related to D flat major. These are our new keys for this grade. And we need to remember we've got B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats, G flats. So we're going to do that first and then we'll worry about the remaining part of this. So let's just write the letter names because I don't use the alto clef very often. Apart from when I'm doing theory, of course. So that tells me I've not written the notes. So let's put the notes. I should have done that first, really. Space, line, space, line. There we go. Now we've got B flats, E flats. I'm just going to write A flat here for the moment, or I suppose I could put it there, but just bear in mind I'm going to have to perhaps rub it out. D flats and G flats. Now this is the melodic minor ascending where we have to raise the sixth and the seventh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so the G flat becomes a natural. So if there was a key signature, I'd have to put a natural sign. As there's no key signature, there's nothing too natural if I don't put the flat in the first place. So just rub it out. And so I could have just not put it in the first place, but it just helps you thinking to do it a stage at a time. Otherwise you end up forgetting what you've done, what you haven't done. And you know, let's make this as easy as possible so we don't make mistakes and lose marks. It's good to just follow the process through. Now A major, we just need the key signature because it's the major. There's no raised anythings. It's just the key signature of F sharps, C sharps, G sharps. For this to be A, it needs to be the alto clef again. Let's put the letter names in. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Forgot to put the notes in first again, haven't I? Line, space, line, space, line. Now the space is going to go below. There we go. And now we just need to add the key signature. So there's the F sharp, there's the C sharp, there's the G sharp, and that's done. You can see how adding a key signature does it all for you in the first place, doesn't it? Accidentals is a little bit more work. So G sharp minor. Tell you what, I'm going to put the blobs in straight away before I forget. Space, line, space, line, space. So I'm going to need 2 ledger lines for the E, and then 2 ledger lines, and it's the space. Okay, now in order for this to be a G sharp, this has got to be bass clef, hasn't it? Or has it grass? Now G sharp minor is our new key. It's related to B major, which has a key signature of F, C, G, D, A sharps. So I'm going to do that straight away. So we have F sharps, doing it lightly because I'm going to have to change something probably here, no doubt. F sharps, C sharps, G sharps is the tonic, D sharps and A sharps. There we go. So we have G sharps, A sharps, B, C sharps, D sharps. Now then, we have to have the raised seventh for the harmonic minor, don't we? And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The F is already sharpened, and so it must become the double sharp. And that's why it's helpful to have sketched in the sharp already, because otherwise you might forget and just write an F sharp, whereas we need the F sharp and then raise it again to the double sharp, don't we? So that's G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F double sharp, G sharp. And if you wanted to be super duper sure, we know that 2 to 3, 5 to 6 and 7 to 8 are the semitones in a harmonic minor scale. And so let's look at that. We've got A sharp to B, that's correct. And then we've got D sharp to E and F double sharp to G sharp. So that's kind of a double triple check to make sure you've got it correct if you feel that you need to. And then finally we just have a major scale, D flat major, which has B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats, G flats. And for this to be a D, it needs to be the treble clef, or a D flat I should say. Let's put the notes in. Line, space, line, space, line, space, line, space. Now D flat major must have B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats comes twice, that's the tonic that we begin and end on, and G flats as well. And again, if you wanted to be sure, we know that the semitones in a major scale are 1, 2, 3 to 4, 7 to 8, and F to G flat is a semitone, and then C to D flat, wrong clef then, C to D flat is a semitone. And so we're extra sure that that's correct, and so that's exercise 7 nicely completed. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee, and for advert-free lessons you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.